When it comes to sexual intimacy and twin flames, there are a lot of conceptions and misconceptions when it comes to that topic for obvious reasons. The topic of sexual intimacy, especially in a complex scenario like a twin flame experience, becomes a little difficult to understand for many. So, whatever I'm going to put forward in this video comes from my overall observation from the one-to-one sessions that I take for twin flames. And I have been interacting with so many people who are on a twin flame journey. And another very amazing or strange thing is that at times I literally feel like I'm a sexual counselor, because there are more and more twin flames who are coming and discussing their sexual issues, not only with their twin flame and the sexual longing that they feel for their twin flame, but also what they are experiencing in their life along with their partner or a spouse, and their overall sexual life or sexuality. And there are different things I am discovering, and I truly enjoy this whole journey that my soul has chosen to understand different people's inner lives. I mean, people are really coming and telling me so many things which they would normally not discuss with anybody. Before I begin, all those who are watching my videos and not have yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon so that you get notifications. I keep making so many efforts to make such videos, and I want everybody to participate when I'm putting so much effort in making such videos for all of you. So like the videos, put your comments, share your experiences. I'm sure that all that you share under my videos is going to help a lot of people. All those who want to have one-to-one sessions with me, all the information about my one-to-one sessions is given in the link under the video description. I'm also having group sessions. The upcoming 2 sessions are about how to maintain spiritual hygiene and the essentials for your spiritual protection. And the next session is about navigating your spiritual awakening by recognizing the feminine energy, how the feminine energy works, and what exactly you need to understand. What are the gray areas? What are the pitfalls? How the feminine energy is cyclical in nature and how you can understand it better. That session is going to happen on 1st November. Anybody who is interested in attending group session, first session is a trial session which is free, and later you can decide if you resonate, and if you feel that it really is adding a lot of value to you, you can definitely subscribe to the group sessions. So I'm going to try to put forward certain observations or certain patterns that I'm observing this particular phenomena, that the twin flame encounter happens and suddenly that kundalini awakening or the heart activation or whatever, everybody will have their own type of experience, but after that awakening or activation there will be a huge shift inside you. And when it comes to your sacral chakra, the way you respond to that sexual intensity or the sexual power after the encounter with your twin flame, different people will have different types of responses. So I have observed 2 polarity responses when it comes to the after effect on your sacral chakra. First response is that I'm giving right now the example of females because there are more females talking to me than males. So after the twin flame encounter and the heart activation, suddenly their sexual energy would start healing a lot. So many females have been going through trauma, childhood sexual abuse. There is a lot of sexual suppression, and not just in an individual life but also in the feminine collective. There is so much of abuse trauma when it comes to your sexuality, character assassination. There is anything related to your sexual expression. People are very easily naming and labeling females as sluts or body shaming females. There is so much happening around sexuality of a woman, and expressing herself as a sexual being is also not really seen as a good thing to do. If you look around in the society, most females are not so open and expressive when it comes to their own sexual desires, their physicality, their sexual nature, because of this fear of getting character assassinated, or somebody will look down upon them or objectify them as a sex object. There are so many different belief systems that females hold, or even males hold. So when the encounter happens, the first response, the most common response, I have broadly observed this, that after the twin flame encounter and the heart chakra activation, when your sacral chakra gets activated, there are many females who would instantly start healing their sexual side, whatever trauma, abuse that they have gone through, and suddenly they would start getting better in their sex life. I have met people who told me that after their encounter with their twin flame, they were never in a conventional relationship with their twin flame, neither they had any sexual physical intimacy with their twin flame, but only with that encounter that they experienced with that person, the lot of internal energies started shifting inside them. And because whatever was healed, they couldn't pinpoint what, suddenly their response to their spouse or towards their existing sexual partner started becoming better. I also would like to give you an example. There was somebody particular who told me that in spite of having an amazing connection with her husband, she was not able to enjoy sexual intimacy with her husband to the fullest. There was something that she was apprehensive about, she was a little bit uncomfortable, had some sort of a difficulty in opening up to her husband. But after the twin flame encounter that she experienced, there was no relationship with her twin flame. She never had any sort of a physical intimacy with her twin flame. But from that encounter, suddenly her sexual connection with her husband started getting better. And what exactly she struggled over there was she was having a huge guilt feeling because she suddenly had this amazing unconditional feeling of love towards her twin flame. But on the other side, she was able to have amazing sexual intimacy with her husband. So she started finding that dual kind of experience, feeling guilty about it. If I want to comment on this specific situation, I would say that as human beings, we are having so many conditional belief systems within us that we are not able to look beyond a certain scenario. So when it starts happening that you are enjoying sex with one man, but you are longing for another man, or that unconditional love is coming from some another man, and that is where you are getting into that conflict, feeling guilty. This is a very limited societal belief system which any twin flame journey will put across in front of you. What we really need to understand in this scenario is that your twin flame is your spiritual facilitator. So with their encounter, they are going to activate your Kundalini awakening. So once your Kundalini is awakened, activated, and your sacral chakra has opened up for its own healing and activation and balance, you are going to feel very sexual. That sexual energy will be obviously there. But one major thing which is happening over there is that all that you had gone through in this life or your past lives, it could be a sexual abuse, or in your past life, maybe you were a sex worker or somebody suppressed you sexually, or something that you have gone through and that has been impacting you in this life. All that would start healing because after the twin flame encounter, the purging will start. So everything that is a density in your sacral chakra will start purging. And when that starts purging, suddenly there is a free way for your sacral energy to flow without having any trauma or any sort of a density that is blocking that sexual energy in your sacral chakra. And when that sexual energy would start flowing in a better way after that purging process has started, it is very natural that you would start enjoying the sexual intimacy with whoever you are with, be it your sexual partner or your karmic partner or soulmate or spouse, whoever that is. What I want to point out over here is that there is no need to feel guilty about it, because here what you need to understand is that the suppressed sexuality is being healed. You are coming into your own power. You are actually going to shine through who you are. So when it comes to embracing your sexuality, that you are a sexual being, you are a woman, you have a physical body, you are a sexual being, and you do have physical desires, and you are fully in your power or in your control to express that sexual energy outside of you and experience it. Unless and until you are learning this lesson, or unless and until you are realizing that you hold that power which is sexual in nature, you are not going to get towards the next milestone in your twin flame journey or even in your spiritual journey. Because if you are denying yourself as a sexual being, refraining from it, also with these labels, the societal labels that, oh, sex is not good, sex is lust, sex is physical desire is not great, it is exactly opposite of your spiritual understanding or spiritual progress. All these are false belief systems. So first place, when we talk about Kundalini energy, that itself is a sexual energy in nature. And there are two purposes of Kundalini. Either you reproduce by having sex with somebody, you make baby, or you raise that sexual energy through all your chakras and become enlightened. So it is the same energy for both these purposes. So we can't deny that sexual energy in the form of Kundalini when we are on any sort of a spiritual journey. So in this scenario number one, where your twin flame activates you, but you start feeling better, you start exploring your sexual side with somebody else, you don't need to feel guilty, because I think having your sexual expression with some another partner is also giving you an opportunity to release your suppressed blocks. Unless and until you are exploring that, unless and until you are accepting yourself as a sexual being, you will not be able to release those blocks that you have been holding. So don't look at it as something that is a taboo thing or something that is opposite of twin flame union, because unless you go through all these experiences and give yourself chance to release all the sacral chakra blocks, you are not going to get to the next chakra. So this is a very, very important topic to understand for many people. Second scenario is that once the twin flame encounter happens, there is so much of deep inner shift that is happening in that person that they would just stop having that desire to be sexual with anybody. So it is exactly the polar opposite scenario from the one I just described. And why that happens, according to my understanding, with so many examples I have been seeing, is that they have been sexually expressing a lot in their life before. They are open. Of course, with these people also, there is a lot of trauma suppression when it comes to their sacral chakra energy. Their sacral chakra is not as blocked or wounded as the first scenario. So they have been exploring different things when it comes to the sexual intimacy with other people. But when the encounter happens, suddenly that desire will go off. Reason number one, as you are awakening and ascending to a higher frequency, all that might hinder you if you are indulging with anybody else. There are people who are having multiple partners, sexually very expressive, very explicit, which is fine. There is no judgment over that. Every soul comes here with a certain choice, and all those experimentations that people are doing, also coming to the sexual aspect, every soul is choosing something specific for a very specific reason. So these people have been experimenting or being pretty active in their sexual lives. But then after this Kundalini awakening and activation, it will be like, I don't feel like being with anybody. So this is like a very natural divine protection or a shield provided to you, because when you're ascending your energies, when you're using that sexual energy to ascend, that sexual energy needs to rise above your sacral chakra into your upper chakras, into your solar plexus, and coming to your heart and even rise above that. So for some period, you will naturally feel very numb when it comes to any sexual activity. And I feel that it's a very natural way of protecting from indulging into any type of other energy around you, because you need to protect your energies to ascend your energies higher than where you are currently. So when that whole integration or download of higher frequency or rising your existing energy into a higher chakra, all these processes are happening, you would naturally feel that you don't want to indulge with anybody around you. Or even if you do, you will have very strict choices. Those people who are just having some sort of one night stand or any type of different dating habits would definitely come from that kind of a lifestyle to a lifestyle where they are just by themselves. It is absolutely miraculous to see that. However, in both these scenarios, I don't want to relate these scenarios to celibacy in any way. If there is anybody who feels like being celibate, I feel there is a specific spiritual reason behind that. It's about protecting your energy, because you're internally working on those energies for rising your Kundalini. So it would happen with the divine intervention. However, there are so many masters who also say that celibacy is one of the ways to reach heightened states of spirituality. That is not the only way. And we don't have to have this belief system that being celibate is only one way of reaching spiritual grace or whatever. Some people absolutely resonate with that template because probably their souls have chosen that sort of a setup for themselves to learn certain things when it comes to being celibate. But whatever my guidance tells me, I truly feel that accepting yourself as a sexual being, being ready to explore what comes in front of you without feeling biased or guilty or shameful when it comes to exploring certain things in a sexual way is absolutely important. Your spiritual progress is not going to happen by bypassing the issues of your sexual intimacy, the sacral chakra. Also, I see a lot of people want to be celibate on the name of spiritual progress, but somewhere in their hearts, they are suppressing that desire. There is one author and ascended person called Om Swami. He has written this amazing book on Kundalini, and in the introduction of that book, he has specifically stated that he went into monkhood for several years and then again came back. But while he was exploring the whole setup of being a monk and understanding spiritual practices, he had many interactions with different monks. And he had very meaningful conversations with them. And he asked them that, as you are a monk, what happens to your sexual energy? And most of them expressed that they had to suppress it. So, all those who are actually living their monkhood are not really happy by suppressing that specific thing. And he has given his own understanding and opinion on that particular topic. But what I want to establish over here by giving the example is that there is more to understand when it comes to celibacy, and it is not what it is, how people perceive that. Probably we could have another absolutely separate video only on that topic, that how celibacy is just one of the ways of going on a spiritual path, and how embracing your sexual side and sexual intimacy to a certain extent could be another vehicle for anybody to be on their spiritual path. There is no need to feel guilty or shameful about it. So the point number one is that there is something that hits you so that you feel like protecting your energies and you naturally feel like not having any sexual interaction with anybody. However, in this specific scenario, I also want to point out that all those who are navigating that celibacy part with this particular belief system that they only can have sexual intimacy with their twin flame and they have to save themselves exclusively for their twin flame, it would not be a very ideal scenario to get into, because I definitely feel that it is some sort of a limited belief that you're holding in your heart. As I described the first scenario, that twin flame encounter is helping you to release the sacral chakra blocks. If you're holding yourself back, even when you have a partner, or there is a way for you to explore your spiritual side, and if you want to explore it, and if this only belief system that is holding you back, that you want to be exclusively saving yourself for your twin flame, it may not be an ideal thought process, because even before you be sexually intimate with your twin flame, there is a need for you to release all your blockages. There is another example I want to give you over here. There was one person who said that only because she started to be intimate with her partner or whoever was with her at that time, she started understanding her sexuality better, who she is as a sexual being, what are her desires, what sort of a person she is when she's vulnerable sexually to somebody. All that exploration helped her to discover herself more. And when most of her trauma or suppression that she had been suppressing for so many years, it was easier for her to reduce it, to work on it. Why? Because she was already with somebody in a sexual way. And that particular thing helped her to understand twin flame sexual energy more. She was way much more balanced, integrated, and ready in a very balanced state, operating from her heart center, accepting herself as a sexual being with a fully healed state. And I feel that is the most important part over here. So if at all you are suppressing, or if you are saving yourself to be exclusive to your twin flame, you will definitely have to go through all these thought processes and see for yourself. One important thing I want to state here is that there are no rules. Every person will have their own soul agendas or their own soul lesson and their own baggages that they need to get rid of. So every situation can be unique. Whatever I am telling you is just some sort of a food for thought for you as a general guideline. I'm not saying that everybody needs to look into only in these two scenarios. There will be many more scenarios like that, but I'm just focusing on these two polar opposite scenarios which might help most of you to understand. So don't hold yourself back when it comes to expressing yourself as a sexual being. Pay attention whether you are holding any sort of a guilt or shame when it comes to expressing yourself as a sexual person. Are you accepting yourself as a sexual person? Are you willing to see the sexual side, not from the filters of being a good character person, or are you looking at yourself from the societal point of view according to the society feels what a woman should do or a woman should not do in a sexual sense? You need to look into all these things, introspect for yourself, and make sure that you are standing in your own power, understanding the power of your sacral chakra, understanding and acknowledging what you are when it comes to your sacral chakra, and giving yourself a chance to release whatever is blocking you from flowing freely from the sacral chakra center. So, this is what I had to say today about twin flames and sexual intimacy. I will be making more videos on this topic because there is so much to talk about. So, this is all for today. See you in the next video. Namaste.